Good afternoon. I'd like to share with you something about what has happened in the recent past with what is known as the Lenski experiment. What Richard Lenski did was breeding about 50,000 generations of a certain kind of bacteria that had to start with apparently no citric cycle. Where citric acid is used as an energy source for those bacteria to remain alive. Well, after many generations, these bacteria did have a citric acid cycle. Wow, evolution, you would say. Well, sorry, no, it's not evolution. You see, every microorganism, every cell, living cell in the bacterial world has a citric acid cycle in some part of its background history. Now, it is known that with living organisms, these kind of systems or molecular systems, they deteriorate if it's not used for a long time. So what you have is that in the past, and not the million years past because there are no million years, but in the past these bacteria came in an environment where there was no citric acid present, and that happened for a long time. So what happened with these bacteria, they lost the ability to use citric acid as an energy source. Well, then that system that goes along with it is deteriorated. Also on the genetic things, it's not used. So use it or lose it. That's a very known principle in the bacterial world. Well, what Richard Lenski did is taking bacteria that has been deprived of citric acid for a long time apparently, so they lost the ability. But that does not mean that that parts of that system in those bacteria are all gone. It's not. So what happened in generations, growing all these generations is, well, this bacteria got this part of the citric acid cycle. This bacteria got that part, and so in combining all these bacteria together, they exchanged. That's the advantage of being bacteria. You can exchange DNA and so. So in the meanwhile, what has happened is in a citric environment is that bacteria have refixed their citric acid machine, so to say. It's just like picking an old rusty car out of the garage that has been standing for decades over there, became rusty, became deteriorating, etc., etc., and you fix it back again. I mean, you might be missing parts, but you take several cars of it, several cars of that and that specific model, and what you do is you use the old parts of an old car that's not usable anymore, the entire car, and you put that back into your model that you want to fix. So what you put together is several types of cars and make one good car out of 3 or 4 or 5 old cars that don't run anymore. Well, and that's actually what happened with Lenski's experiment. It's a great experiment in itself, but it only shows us that molecular systems are able to regenerate from what has been lost in the past. So it's not. It looks like, it may look like evolution, but it is not evolution, because it's just fixing back old systems. And actually it's more a proof of degeneration instead of evolution, because it proves that systems that are not used are lost for quite some time, and shows actually the deterioration of the genetic coding for the machine, the molecular machinery to perform such a thing. So actually it's counter-evolutionistic what Richard Lenski proved, instead of being pro-evolutionistic processes. It's just using an old system that already was present in bacteria in broken parts. And so what bacteria did is getting together more and more parts of an old machine and fix it up and get it together back again for a working citric cycle machine in the bacteria. And yes, that may seem to people from the outside, it may seem as though evolution has taken place. But sorry folks, it didn't. It's not proof for evolution. Nice experiments and a lot of work. I heard that he put some 20 years in it. Well, okay, fine, 50,000 generations breeding bacteria. It's a nice achievement in itself, but it's not proof for evolution. Sorry to disappoint you, but that's the truth about it. Okay, thanks for watching. Hasta la basta. Don't get fooled. Bye bye.